Hi there guys, and welcome to Red Gaming Tech and the first of a sort of rumour roundup series that I'm going to be doing. This came about simply because I saw an interesting article online today that I wanted to discuss and give my opinions on. And that's to do with the fact that Hideo Kojima could possibly be thinking about working on a AAA Silent Hill game. And obviously I want to discuss where this rumour has come from, what I think of it, and so on. So let's have at it, shall we? Any long-standing Silent Hill fan, such as myself, has been through the wars lately with Silent Hill. It's had a very bad last few years, and a very sad and disappointing decline into mediocrity, and just with terrible games that just have missed the entire point of the Silent Hill series, at least in my opinion. Downpour and Shattered Memories were better, but not the standard that I would expect from Silent Hill, to be honest. I'm talking the standard of Silent Hill 1, 2, and of course 3. 4 to a lesser extent. I thought 4 was not all that great, but it was still better than Homecoming and Origins for the PSP. So, where has this rumour come from then? Well, Hideo Kojima recently tweeted about the Silent Hill film. He watched the first one in preparation for the upcoming sequel, and it seems like he was impressed with the series' potential, as he tweeted, "Silent Hill movie that I borrowed from Murashu as the next sequel is coming out. It would be a scary game if we make Silent Hill game on Fox Engine. Silent Hill is in closed room setting and doesn't require full action, so that we can focus on the graphic quality. Enemy doesn't have to be a lot or move fast. It only requires scariness by graphics and presentation. As being a creator making action games in an open world, such game is very enviously attractive. Wish someone could create this on Fox Engine." So yeah, obviously that's been translated there, which explains the slightly broken English, but it's an interesting thought, and although he could be simply thinking out loud, but it's definitely an interesting idea. As any Metal Gear fan will know, Kojima likes following a surreal, twisted, existential narrative with a strong focus on really good characterization. So that kind of non-linear narrative would obviously work perfectly for Silent Hill, and obviously some narrative that doesn't follow logical thought or seems a bit more surreal is obviously Silent Hill to a T. Obviously he doesn't have any particularly strong horror credentials, but he does have credentials in telling a story very, very well indeed. Metal Gear's strongest points has always been the storytelling, at least for me personally. So, and that is, again, Silent Hill's strongest point. The gameplay of Silent Hill has always been lacking in certain areas, especially the combat and all that, but, you know, the story and the atmosphere and the living, breathing world are what makes Silent Hill amazing, and those things Kojima knows how to create in spades. Personally, I would love this. As while I'm not the biggest fan of Metal Gear Solid, even I can recognise that, you know, it has really strong characters, great storytelling, a really richly realised world, and obviously good gameplay as well. So the thought of Kojima working on Silent Hill actually kind of gets me excited again, and it would be nice to see Silent Hill in the hands of a Japanese development company, because obviously I just don't think that anyone but the Japanese really understands the kind of thought pattern behind Silent Hill, because the first 3 games were really Japanese in the way they were told, very psychological, slow building, atmospheric, oppressive games. And when it moved to foreign waters, the people that handled it just didn't really understand, and the only ones that have really come close to it, I think, lately, is the Downpour and to a lesser degree Shattered Memories. Downpour wasn't really scary to the degree of Silent Hill 1, 2 or 3, but it was still a hell of a lot closer than Homecoming, which was a complete disaster area in my opinion. And the atmosphere in the town itself was much, much better. So they understood it more, but they still didn't capture it quite right, at least in my view. Obviously this is all my opinion. If you disagree, then great, you know, please do let me know in the comments. I'm always up for a bit of discussion. But yeah, it would just be so good to see it in the hands of a Japanese developer, because they would obviously understand more of the school of thought, the kind of thinking behind the slow building psychological horror that is the staple of a lot of Japanese games and films as well. I mean, if you watch legendary Japanese horror films like The Ring, for example, not much actually happens within it. It's all about the tension and building up in this really masterful way till finally, everything just all hell breaks loose in a really satisfying way that leaves you just feeling like wow, basically. And that's the kind of thing I want to see back in Silent Hill again. That's what I would love to see. So although he could have just been thinking out loud like, yeah, it could be kind of cool if it was made on the Fox engine, it's not really qualified as a rumour, it's just him going, yeah, it could be cool, but I would love to see this happen, and I really hope it does. I think that it would be a step in the right direction for the Silent Hill series, and it'd be nice to see it in the hands of someone who would understand and know what to do with it. Anyway guys, as always, thank you again for watching, and please do hit me up with your comments. I mean, you know my thoughts on this particular topic. What are yours? Do you think that Hideo Kojima could do a good job? Do you think I'm just completely talking out my arse? Or who would you like to see handle the Silent Hill series other than the original developers? Obviously, that's kind of the obvious answer that just no. So yeah, do you think the Silent Hill series is dead? Do you think we should just leave it alone? Or would you like to see it tried again in the hands of someone who might possibly understand better what to do with it? Let me know. It's always good to hear from you guys. Anyway, as always, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.